I put on. Where's my cool shades, dude? I need my cool shades. Are we live right now? Because it's not ticking. There it goes. It's ticking now. All right, Mrs. Nut and Fancy's here. This is the official start of an emergency sit rep update. Let's get closer, huh, so they can see you. She's standing on, well, about 6 inches of plastic blocks. Otherwise, you cannot see her. We'll see if you guys join in. If you don't, I don't blame you at all. This is very short notice. And we have some requests through messages in Patreon. Guys are freaking out at what's happening 6th January, and I guess they want to talk about it. So we're going to give it about 20 minutes and see if people join. And if they do, we'll stick around for a little while. And here's one. We've got Texas Gunner. How's it going? Hello. There's Sci-Fi 323. We're gonna wait till some more people bounce in. The one reason I didn't want to do a stream tonight is because there's some really awesome streams going on right now, and I don't want to take audience away from them. One of them is Salty Cracker that she's been watching all day. I've been bouncing in and out of it all day. What's another one you mentioned?
I'm just looking at Twitter feeds. Or
I don't know if Crowder's doing a stream, but there's a bunch of conservative commentators that are doing it. So I hate to take any audience, although I don't think we're gonna have many people show up here. I mean, if we had 10,000 people show up right now, oh, never mind. It's just Patreon, so at the most we'd have 3,000. That'd be cool, though. That'd be cool. Corey says, "I'd rather hear what you have to say." Okay, so, and guys are going to keep coming in, so I'm going to have to say this probably a couple times. Guys are asking, "Hey, what's your opinion on what's going on? What do you think? Are we headed to civil war?" The answer is no, we're not headed to civil war. So if you think things are going to cook off towards civil war, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not. I pretty much said it at the end of Upside Down of Right, and I was very honest in that series of videos. And people were asking me, "Hey, what do you think is going to happen with the elections?" And I called it. I was like, things are going to get dark, and things are they're going to get, I don't know, bad. And I didn't want to say that, but here we are. You're seeing what's happening. Double Owls on the Deck says, "Texas Cabby, thank you very much. Just got the notification about the stream. Good evening, all. Riley's in the house. Thank you. What up, Nuttin and Very? Knew you'd be on considering. There's some news I got to tell you about Very. Should I tell him?
Oh, I have to say it now.
And I'm not going to say this to a wide audience, but Verolinus died. So she died. My sister. So she's gone. What happened? Well, she didn't take care of herself, and so she gained a ton of weight. She had been a drug abuser at various times in her life, had been an alcoholic various times in her life. And when you treat your body that way, it just catches up with you. People who can really change their lifestyle and turn it around are able to live longer, but she really never did that. She kept eating poorly.
Well, she had diabetes and had to have a leg amputated towards the end, and that just was it.
So Verolinus is dead. Sorry. And it happened a while back. I've been sitting on that news, but someone brought it up. The reason I don't want to concentrate on it is because I don't want this to be a sad place. We've grieved already, and we've gone through all those emotions, and I don't want to rip the scab off, but there's a notification. Another thing is she really hadn't been part of the project for a long time. For you longtime TNPers who remember Verolinus, there was a time when she was very involved and active, and she did great work. And then she just became, for me personally, to be honest, completely unreliable. And I don't need that. I need someone reliable and who would speak well and be professional with people. And sometimes she'd go off on people. And there came a time before she passed away that I just said, "Hey, thanks, but I don't really want you helping me anymore because it's just creating too much drama for me." So she had such a neat personality. She has so many great qualities. And if you're saying, "Hey, man, you should have told her to do this and that," we both did. We both did several times. "Hey, eat right, do this, and turn things around." Sorry. So anyways, that's that. Now, it's 6th January. Todd S., what's up, dude? Good to see you here. Strelka. I've been hearing for a long time, weeks leading up to what's going on right now, that, oh my gosh, we're really going to turn this thing around. We're going to get Trump back into office. We're going to overturn the election results. And one thing after another failed. And I always knew it would. If you read my tweet back in November, I said the election will not get overturned. The swamp is just too deep. And that's what we're seeing right now. We have most of the Republicans have bailed on Trump. Some are bailing today with today's events. What's that name? Kelly Loeffler. She bailed on him. Now she's not going to. She's going to vote for the certification of electoral college results in the Senate tonight. She's probably doing that right now. Everybody's turning on Trump. It's Trump and us against the world. I'm not surprised by the results. Okay. And even Salty Cracker, who I absolutely love, we listen to him all the time. He was like, oh, wait till 6 January. It's going to be the Rubicon. It's going to be a pivotal event. We're gonna put people in. They're going to put people who stole the election in Gitmo pound you in the ass prison, is what he says. And you can tell him what I said while he's saying this. I was like, that's not going to happen.
He always said that.
It's not going to happen.
Negative Nelly.
I'm a realist. I know the terrain, and these guys can vouch for me. I've predicted a lot of things, and most of them have come true. Like all through the Obama stuff. Obama set the stage for what we're going through right now. That's one reason I hated him so much. When I saw that he was basically a communist in sheep's clothing, and he was, and I said that in the day, and I caught a lot of heat for it. I was like, this guy's a communist, and he's going to change the way Americans think. And the way Americans are thinking now, a majority, I believe, is we can have the government pay for our subsistence. And there's a lot of people that will vote for that. They don't care if they lose their freedoms or not. They don't care. Just give me a check. And here we have COVID-19, the scamdemic. And people are getting free money from the government. Granted, there's a whole discussion of, well, their businesses are shut down. They need something. I know we've had that discussion, not going there now. But when you get free things from the government, things are attached. And usually, in what we're seeing right now, what's attached is your freedom. Am I right?
Yep.
Here I go on another freaking rant. Sorry to hear. A lot of condolences for Very. Thank you very much. Swamp monsters going to swamp, says Locust Chaos. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Logical Survivalist says Senate just voted 93-6 to reject the objection over Arizona. Yeah, no surprise. I'm so disgusted. Okay, so here we are. And like a lot of commentators are like, oh, wait till January 6th. We're going to have 1 million people show up. I couldn't go. If I lived in Virginia, North Carolina, even Florida, I probably would have driven up. And I would have probably activated some of you guys to come with me so we could add to the numbers. But with my schedule, what's going on, there's no way I could go. From what I hear, and this is all subject to change, it's like 100,000 maybe showed up. And this is going to drive to a point.
A lot of people, though.
It is a lot of people.
You saw the people there.
We don't need hundreds of thousands if we're going to win. We need millions. Remember, I said that. So what we're doing right now is battling for normies, people who think about politics in a normal fashion. And we're trying to battle and win their hearts and minds. And I'm very frustrated that they have their heads so far up their ass, to be completely honest. Do you feel the same way?
Mm-hmm.
And we know people like this. And it's like, did your internet and television not work in 2020? Did you not see what Pro-Tifa was doing in all the cities? The violence, the murders, the racist actions of Pro-Tifa. And people, if you experience 2020 and you still think the Democrats are the answer, I don't know what else I can tell you. All you would have to do is just turn on an internet feed. And again, that's why we seek out alternate media. You're doing it right now. So being here, you're an alternate media person. Thank you. You're smart. We don't watch mainstream media. I've been saying that for years. We totally don't. I'll watch Newsmax. And by the way, Newsmax is pretty good. So if you type in Newsmax TV in your browser, that's kind of it's just a news service. And I don't think they're slanted one way or another, but they will represent the conservative cause accurately. And then, of course, we listen to people like Salty Cracker, who is absolutely hilarious. And he will unveil hidden things that you've never heard about. At this point, what they've done is with this election in November, what they've done is create back me up, Mrs. Nut and Fancy, create a bunch of conspiracy people. What do you guys think? I've always said I'm not a conspiracy people, but after seeing the evidence and the affidavits, the video of the stolen elections, all these votes coming into the precincts in the middle of the night after the Republican vote counters have either been kept at 100 yards distance. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was too far to really count the votes, or they're just kicked out altogether under the auspices.
Coming out from under the table. I've said that to somebody I know. They're like, what?
Votes
what
being delivered in the middle of the night. Well, and what she's talking about is a normie. So that's a normie that her information sources are awful. What news is she watching? Probably CNN. You would be amazed at how many so-called, in quotation marks, conservatives watch CNN. Maybe a little bit of Fox, but Fox is lost. Fox called the election for Biden early before the results were really in. So they've sold out. More ranting. Hey, nothing been with you since the beginning. This is Camper 14J. Thanks, man. You were welcome. Dude, on the video flow, I've been cranking them. So, and like I said, through all of this, through hell and high water, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to record content, adventures, knife reviews, multi-tool reviews, flashlight reviews. So don't think I don't care about what's going on. But if you see political videos, I don't feel like I can really offer anything that's too helpful. And now that we are kind of feeling that the political process is broken, maybe not kind of, but really feeling it, we might be in that life raft, the lifeboat that I've talked about for years. I kind of feel like I am. She says she is. The Republican Party is garbage. Garbage. Oh, on a bright note, though, Romney, that asshole, got lit up verbally, not lit up with weapons or anything, lit up verbally on an aircraft. It was a Delta flight, and they yelled over and over again, traitor, traitor. That's what we need more of. The gloves need to come off. Don't try to be a gentleman, a gentlewoman. If people like confront you, just lay it on the line. If you need to cuss at them, cuss at them. They've been doing it all last year. So we fight with our hands tied behind our back as conservatives often. And what you're seeing today is really a pivotal moment. What we saw in Washington, D.C. There's good parts to it and there's bad parts. Let me talk about the good. The good part is people stood up and they put their actions where their mouth is. And that's hard to do. So they left their jobs. I pretty much can guarantee everybody that came today has a job. They're not like the left who are freeloading, stealing money. They have jobs. So they freed up jobs. They traveled probably long distances and they protested peacefully. And I will say peacefully because there were only like 50 people who broke into the chambers. And even then they weren't violent. They broke some windows, but they're not like pro-Tifa setting things on fires and burning eyeballs out with lasers.
I think it was Antifa that broke the windows.
Talk about that because she knows something about this. And this kind of goes down the rabbit hole a little bit, but there's so much false flag stuff going on from the left. And we're talking about embedded Antifa people into these crowds.
Yeah, they dressed like Trump supporters and then went in there. I'm pretty sure they're the ones that were breaking the windows. And there's a picture that I saw online of two guys that are like Antifa. And they have a picture of them side by side, them there in the Capitol, and then a picture of them like at a BLM rally or something. So they were not the Trump supporters.
I posted a video years ago, it was about 6 years ago, and I said Republican Civil War. We need to go to the caucuses and we need to elect staunch, I'm going to call them suicidal Republicans. And here's what I mean by that, is they're not trying to get reelected. That's what we need. Or if they are trying to get reelected, they just don't care. That's Trump. I think Trump wants to get reelected. Obviously, he likes being president, but he's kind of suicidal in a way in that he just does the right things for the right reason. Again, I'm a convert to Trump, so is she. That we see how this guy was for 4 years and against all odds, getting attacked over and over again with all these ridiculous fake investigations, fake impeachment efforts, Russia hoax, and he just keeps driving on. He got so much done. So we need people who are just on a one-way trip. They like, I don't really care if I get reelected. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to defend the Constitution. I'm going to defend personal liberty. I'm going to defend organized religion. I'm going to defend good people. I'm going to defend the idea of that there's only two sexes in life. You say that now, your political career is done. Republicans mostly compromised these last few months have at least really opened people's eyes to it. This is Haywood. Well, we hope so, but the show's done for a while. I mean, this is sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered. That is the election of 2020. It's done. We're going to have Biden for the next 4 years, and it looks
Not
like
him, it'll be Kamala.
yeah, Kamala, and it looks like we're going to have a democratically held Senate.
Everything.
So I've been saying it all along. It's not a matter of when gun control comes down. It's a matter of, I'm sorry, let me back that up. If, but when. And that's what we're seeing right now. So what I predict is you're going to see AR-15s completely outlawed. You're going to see a mandatory registration period. It'll probably be pretty short. It's going to be 60 days. And for people like you and I that are smart and we've already sold all our guns, we won't have to worry about it. But you watch, a lot of normies are going to get caught flat-footed because they don't pay attention. Now, this is worst case. And we saw, by the way, the Supreme Court cannot be relied upon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we saw that. So people go, well, the
Garbage.
Supreme Court won't pass that. Well,
Garbage.
what
John
I see
Roberts
is
horrible.
John Roberts has completely sold out. And what I see is none of the institutions are reliable to protect the Constitution. It's as simple as that. Not the House of Representatives, not the Senate. And things are going to get spicy. They're going to get dark. I said that we're in a battle, and it's still a Cold War phase. Thank heavens. I don't want violence to happen. I've always said that. It's awful. Once that gets uncorked, it doesn't get corked up easily, and there's going to be a lot of suffering, a lot of loss of life, and who knows? She said this. Maybe even China gets in the game, really complicating things. We're in a battle to change normies' minds. Are we effective at this? I think us tiny little media feeds like myself, I'm very tiny, I'm very small. I really have no influence at all on the internet, but I try. I think we've swayed some minds, but it's not enough. And what's really going to do mass swaying of minds, remember I said this, 6 January 2021. Here's a prediction. Just go back in history. What changes people is suffering. That changes people. When they lose their money, when they lose their jobs, when they can't get food, when water stops flowing, or they can't travel freely as they have been accustomed to doing in this country, there's roadblocks to check for this or that. Maybe it's a mask check, but they're actually checking for all types of things to include illegal weapons. Is that coming in the United States? Yes. Yes, it's coming. When this starts happening, I'm saying it's going to be inflicted by the very government that they supported. These idiots, these morons that they supported, these retards. They supported this. That's when minds will change. And then they'll wake up and her friends, for instance, will go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I voted for these guys. But apparently the lockdowns aren't enough because there's a lot of support for the lockdowns, despite what you hear in California. People are, and I was just there 2 weeks ago, and people are lockstep with the lockdowns. They put their masks on dutifully. To the boys about how idiotic people are in adopting this tyranny. So California's numbers not any better than Florida's numbers. In fact, they're worse. And by the way, we're COVID survivors, as a reminder. So when that suffering happens, that will be inflicted by the left on the entire country, to include you, I, and her, there's going to be some suffering going on. And it ain't going to be like days past. And they're calling it, even the left is very open about this, they're calling it the big reset. You know, where you can't just go out and earn this much money. We're going to tax you. Maybe there's going to be mandatory reparations on a racial quota. People wake up then, but it takes suffering in the course of history, and people then pay attention. But when life was good, as it has been in 2020, they aren't paying attention. No matter what you and I say, no matter what our bumper stickers say, we're shaking them. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We're going down a road of destruction. They're like, la, 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 la. Can't hear. Do you guys feel that way? Do you have friends like that? You're just like, oh, yeah. I know we're going to read some comments about that. Let me get into some comments here. Just come and get them. Tired of threats. Christopher Helm. Yeah, I hear you, dude. And here's another thing that was good about today, 6th January. I told you that people actually took action. They showed up. But isn't it kind of a dry run? Isn't it kind of a dry run to the entire political establishment and to law enforcement saying, listen, and this is just me observing. I'm not recommending anything. I'm glad it was peaceful. I want it to be peaceful. Again, I don't want it to be violent ever. But a dry run in a peaceful way. If people keep getting ramshackled and called terrorists for loving their country, which they have been, shot in the neck and killed, apparently, because there was a woman shot in the neck. She was a 14-year U.S. Air Force veteran. Salute to you, ma'am. She's dead now. And by the way, that's from the police. So maybe we should go storm that police precinct as Protifa did, right? So when one of theirs got shot by a police officer, or I don't know if it's private security or who did it, but whoever they are, I'm sure they have a place of operation. Shouldn't we storm that?
I'm sure it was Capitol Police, but
this was a dry
she was
run.
Unarmed, by the way.
Yeah, all of them were.
So
none of them have guns. It was a peaceful, but it's a dry run. What would have happened had they come in hot? Black rifles, level 4 kit on a one-way trip. What do you think? Well, I'm not recommending this at all. I'm just making an observation. If 500,000 people, and you need numbers, 100,000 ain't enough. You need like 500,000 organized. Dude, things are going to change. And it can't be on just one. You need 500,000 here, 500,000 there, 500,000 there, all across the nation. If it isn't those numbers, it will fail. And you need to have a game plan. What's the game plan? How about restore the Constitution? Treat all people with fairness and equity, unlike they're doing now, by the way. I'm in Florida, never wore a mask, got COVID, shaked it off in 3 days, common cold. Christopher Helm yet again. Thanks, brother. Yeah, it was a cold. I wish I could have shook it off that quickly. To me, it's kind of a cold that comes and goes. Yeah, I love that name. Michael says, COVID is a cheap front. So is racism. Total horse shit. Morons blindly follow. Yeah, you're right. The racism narrative is total horse shit. We are the least racist, most open-minded generation and country that the world has ever seen. And I always tell people, if they doubt that, just go look at movies put out in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And I'm talking anti-Black racism. And all along, dude, getting along. And I'm from the South. I'm from the deep South. So I have personal experiences, as I've mentioned before in some live streams. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been around. I get around. I see all types of people. No, don't see it. Yeah. But in this one instance, show me the receipts. Show me the receipts. I'll show you the receipts of anti-white racism. That's a lot of that going on. Oh my gosh. It's sanctioned, by the way. So people have no problems with that. All we're saying is, words of Martin Luther King, judge a man, a woman by the content of their character. Forget the skin color. We're past that, though. That the left doesn't want to do that. It's payback time. Sorry for the rant. Not really. I'm not sorry. Op 4. Yep. I've been called a conspiracy theorist nutter for predicting this almost word for word. Here you, dude. Christopher Helm again. I'm in Florida. I read that one. How you doing, dude? Thanks for being here. Nothing. Do you even talk to liberals after today? The hateful language seems already too much. Good question. And so I was around a dude. I won't call him a friend. He's an acquaintance. And so we were talking day before yesterday. I knew he's a flaming liberal because we've had some political discussions before. And we didn't talk about politics. And get this, he's a good guy. I mean, I like him. I avoided the political discussion. So here's where I'm at right now. This is where she's at right now. Don't come at me, bro. Do not effing come at me politically. Do not chastise me for being conservative, being pro-Trump. If I have a sticker on my car, don't come at me. Don't throw anything at me. Don't be violent towards me. I'm up to here. I think you guys are too. I ain't going to put up with shit anymore. Don't come at me. What have I always said? Leave us alone. Don't come to our houses. Don't get in our personal affairs. Don't mess with our money that we work so very hard to earn. Leave it alone. The left won't do that. They're going to come at you because they want to subjugate you. And anybody who's a minion of the left, I've got no patience with anymore. It doesn't mean I'm going to like jack them up or anything, but I'll yell at them. I ain't above cursing at them. We need to take it to the next level. The gloves are off. They were off in November. You're not going to convince them. So the days of, well, let me sit down and, let me put out my logical points of what Trump did. Hey, let me just list 12 different things that Trump, they don't care. They don't care. They think that because you're pro-Trump or you're pro-Constitution, you're like he said, a nutter. You're a racist. Why? Because all the media said that. All the Communist Party feeds, which they watch, have said that year after year, and they are brainwashed. Justin, Capitol Police murdered.
Oh yeah.
I hate it when it does that.
Right there.
Read it. Hit it.
A Trump supporter, and they most likely won't be held accountable for it. They won't, because it was a white lady.
What happens when a black guy's accidentally killed?
We can burn buildings and.
Oh, that's right. It kicked this whole thing off. Oh yeah, that's right. George Kirby. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So again, we see asymmetric law enforcement, and that's one of the bad things of today. So I said a good thing. People showed up. It was a dry run. And by dry run, what I'm saying is, oh, we're not practicing for, the boogaloo. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if anyone's smart in Washington, they should be putting 2 and 2 together. Today, these guys didn't show up with weapons today. But what if a million do? You ain't going to turn that back. I don't care if you have National Guard. I don't care if you've got police departments rolling in. You ain't going to see that. One of the bad things about it, and people ask me about this, and I know we got some great police officers in the Patreon community. Thank you for your service. Love you guys. As long as you're constitutional. What we saw today, in my opinion, from, let me say, incomplete, perhaps even scant knowledge, is asymmetric law enforcement, again, against conservatives. I saw SWAT teams rolling in, full body armor, M4s, full automatic weapons. Oh, yeah, we got Trump swords. Let's roll in on those guys. Where the hell were you guys in Portland?
Well,
where the hell were you in Wisconsin?
DC mayor didn't want the National Guard to come in.
Right.
And so then when Pelosi supposedly was screaming, oh, has to stop, then Pence is the one that ordered them up. So I heard.
My point in this is, if you're in doubt what police forces are going to do when all this onerous legislation passes and becomes the law of the land, you're seeing it in DC today. They will more than happily enforce it against you, up to and including lethal force. They'll have no problem with it. Most of the officers. I was thinking when I heard and again, this is just information I heard, the FBI HRT, hostage rescue team, rolls in. Hey, did any of those officers go, wait a second, whoa, slow our roll? We're going against conservatives who are unarmed. We know they're unarmed because we've been watching the live feeds, and we're suiting up with armor. We're going to roll in hot. Did any of those officers say that? I doubt it. They're like, yeah, let's go to town. The left owns most law enforcement. Sorry to tell you, folks. I'm just telling you. I'm talking local PD, even sheriff departments. There was a sheriff department that turned in Los Angeles. What did he do? There was a sheriff department did something.
The one guy that said that he was for the Constitution and he would
COVID, like he just arrested COVID. Oh, the 90 people they arrested at the get together. That was a Los Angeles sheriff that jacked up and arrested and put into handcuffs normal people having a get together. We're not wearing our masks now. You're going to come and arrest me? Good luck. Just saying. Good luck. Sorry, man. I'm on a roll here. Do you ever think we'll see a legitimate election again, says Bowser 484? I have my doubts. Because here we had a bunch of receipts, we had evidence, and apparently those people, some of which were Democrats who swore an oath what they saw is what they saw. We have like mainstream Republicans like that communist Romney go, so certify the election, it's valid. We have churches, the LDS church in here in Utah goes, hey, don't believe in baseless conspiracy theories. They're referring to the election. Baseless? There's a lot of evidence. Should we hear the evidence? And really, that's all Trump's been saying. Trump hasn't said, hey, let's overturn the election and put me in. He's not saying that. He's just saying, hey, this was wonky. We have good evidence. Why don't we send it back to the states, have them look at it, and maybe some of these electoral votes are not legitimate. That's all he's been saying. That's all he wanted Pence to do. Pence wasn't going to overturn the election. He was going to send the contested states back to the states and say, fix this. It's constitutional. Didn't do that. Another coward. David Goodrich, yeah, brother, I hear it. He says we need another major economic downturn, make us need each other. Yeah, go look at the depression. So if we go to depression level, what is that? That's suffering. Oh man, that was widespread suffering. And then you had the Dust Bowl, drought through the Midwest, no crops, people couldn't work. Do you think you would see this political correctness, this progressivism emerge out of a period like the Depression? No. People just want to work. They want their freedom. Please just give me a job so I can feed my family. I wish I could change that. I really do. I don't want anyone to suffer, not even the left. Because if they suffer, that means I have to suffer. We're all in this together. Dan M says, though the price of ammo was high before, now it's going to be nuts. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, you guys are set. Come on. Come on, TNPP. You guys are set. If you're not set, what the hell? I mean, I've been working at this gig for over a decade trying to get you guys set. I hear and message all the time, Patreon, and that's really only a place I check messages, and it's not very frequent. I apologize if you message me and I'm not back to you soon. Once, I don't know, a week, maybe twice a week, I'll read through them. And guys are saying, yeah, I'm good. I got ammo, got my guns. I mean, we're all fine-tuning things, and that's okay. But I do want to stress the non-violent thing. I'm really big on that. And if you go back in my history of philosophy videos, what was it? Do not hasten the day. Don't hasten the day without rule of law. And I feel like on a conservative group, not necessarily TNP, but I guess you guys too. I'm always kind of pulling back and like, if you look at my videos, I'm always saying, let rule of law work. We have to absolutely exhaust every option we have. And I still say that even after 6 January, I'm going to say that because I'm very, very familiar with my study and having traveled the world of what the option is. And it ain't good. It's bad. I'm talking like you drive down the street and you see dead people like everywhere, rotting bodies everywhere. You got a comment there, hon? Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for bouncing into this emergency sit rep. Okay, so I talked about battle for the normies. I still say we should do this. If you have a normie that's on the fence, don't like launch into him and get aggressive. That, and going back to what I said earlier, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when they launch at me or they start impugning me and they start regurgitating CNN talking points, then I'm going to go off on them. But I do try to sense if this person is genuinely interested. If so, I try to give them evidence. And I put a lot of screenshots on my phone and my iPad for that. And I'm like, look at that. Look what happened in 2020. Did you hear this on the mainstream media? No, I didn't. I just saw a bunch of cops kneeling to BLM. By the way, how did that age? Not so good. And I said when that was happening, no, it's good. It's good that they're kneeling. They're just they just feel bad for George Kirby. It's George, whatever his name is, Floyd. But Pelosi called him George Kirby, so I go with that. I'm like, well, let's let the evidence come out. Let's figure out what's going on. We don't know the facts. And facts don't matter anymore to the left. You saw that all through 2020. Facts don't matter. I'm not going to go into that whole thing. I already talked about it. But try to change minds, use screenshots, and send them to news feeds like Salty Cracker's a good one. He's doing it every day. I'm a gear reviewer. I'm not a political guy. So I'm not going to come on every day and give you a rant. Once in a while. Let me say this too. This is not fancy telling me it's an Antifa guy, and that makes more sense. But that clown who stood up on the Senate chamber behind the podium, and they got pictures of him. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I don't like that image. Here's why. Let's say he's a Trump guy. Great. He's just having a good time, dressed up as a Viking, whatever. She's saying he's Antifa, and he could very well be. That's not a good image. That is a propaganda photo that will be shown over and over and over again. And what the left will do, just like the Nazis did, is they'll use that and paint all the awesome, 950,000 people with that. They're all like that guy. And the guy could be awesome. We don't know. We don't know how the facts, but I say this when I used to go to rallies. I was like, hey, professional image, wave your flags. What he should have done is the guy who was front and center on that and got behind the podium should have had a big talking point sign that says, these are our grievances as the American people. We are the American people and we are pissed. Bullet point, boom. Bullet point, boom. 3-piece suit, have your MAGA hat on and just hold it right there. And have 10 guys on each side in solidarity. That would have been a picture I would have been proud of, not some clown in a damn Viking suit. Or no, he's bare chested. I'm sorry, I didn't like seeing that. So cops' intentions were revealed today. What you're seeing is a dry run for them. They will have no problem jacking you up. We've also found out really that Republicans are complete cowards. Todd Strelka, yeah, salty is the news, right? People who ask me a lot of questions, and I'm not really. It's a lot of energy to get into a political discussion, and if I don't really launch into it unless I know I have a hope of winning, a heart and mind, I mean. I just say, go to Salty Cracker. And then it's in their court. And if they dial in and type in a simple 2-word phrase into a search engine, DuckDuckGo, hopefully, they'll find them. Most won't even do that. They're too damn lazy. What we saw today, too, are false predictions. People were predicting, again, the election's going to get overturned. False prediction that Supreme Court was going to overturn it. All that's crap. You may hear some more. Oh, no, we're going. Trump's still not going to leave office. Forget it. You're going to have Biden as your president. I've said that all along. It's because there's support. Her friends voted for Biden. They think he's awesome.
I don't know if they do.
There's a lot of so-called Christians that voted for Biden. I don't know. Okay, Evil SD says, I saw the Floyd body cam once again in the media. Once again, the media lied. He was high on drugs and mostly likely died of an overdose. The only reason we have that, here I go. I didn't want to talk about this, but this is a very interesting case study about how the Communist Party feeds the media lie about truth. They don't want truth. What they want is propaganda. They put George Kirby forward as an innocent black person that was jacked up by a racist police force, when in reality, he was struggling. He was being violent. They tried to subdue him multiple times. He was hyped up on drugs. Go watch the body cam footage, which, by the way, we only have because a based citizen went and looked at it. They had to schedule an appointment because they haven't released it publicly still, and he filmed it. And then he released it. He's like, check this out. And it shows a lot of facts that are not discussed. And by the way, Derek Chauvin apparently was applying current MPD procedures and subduing George Kirby. You didn't know that? Yeah, that was an MPD. And I didn't know that either. On my video, I was like, that looks awful. I mean, that neck hold, I don't like that. And I didn't. But then as I found out, oh, wait, they'd had so many people die in custody. They want to restrain this hyped up individual so they're not bouncing around, injuring officers, injuring themselves. That was an approved procedure. Haven't heard much about that lately, have you? Why is that? Because the cops did nothing wrong. There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Martial law.
Who's going to declare it, Jeremy? Who's going to declare martial law? I could see martial law being declared. If you think about it, isn't the lockdown a form of martial law? It sure as the hell is in California. Because they're telling you, hey, do not go outside your house. Do not travel unnecessarily. Do not go in a restaurant. If you're jogging alone in the middle of the forest, you better have your mask on.
Ridiculous. And
I see people in California that are remote. They're not around anybody. Mask on. They're good little commies. Martial law has already been instilled in California to some level. If it went violent tonight, had you seen violence, you'd see martial law in D.C. and maybe in some other places that have bled around. Again, I want peace. I want peace and happiness for all people. Antoine Harris, how you doing, bro? That's why I get upset with people I know. They try to have a conversation about all this going on, but the points they bring up are the same from CNN. Right. Then they get angry when I try to interject. So what you're trying to do is interject the T word, truth. They don't want to hear truth. They don't want to hear truth because they're like, la, 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 no. I saw it on CNN. There's no evidence that the election was rigged. I'm like, have you seen this? Have you seen this video over here? Have you listened to this feed? Have you read the affidavits? Has there been a hearing with all the evidence that is out there about the election steal? The answer is no. It hasn't come out. The Supreme Court refused to even hear it. There hasn't even been an evidentiary hearing yet. So anybody who comes to you goes, well, there's no evidence. Like, how the hell do you know?
I've seen it on video.
Well, I had CNN and Rachel Maddow on MSNBC tell me, and actually at this point, Fox News says there's no evidence. Just get over it. Nothing to see here. Welcome your new president. Piss pants Biden. Commie, the shape changer Harris. Oh my gosh. Sadly, the Republic is close to death. I agree with that. Logan T, USA needs to split. I mentioned this to someone. I was like, wouldn't it be better if some states seceded and we actually made a new country and the leftists could employ all their great little things like Atlas Shrugged? You know, there's butterflies flying in the sky. Everyone gets free money. Oh, but there's no one producing anything.
Yeah.
And then it collapses on itself. Meanwhile, us based individuals, hardworking, responsible individuals end up having all the wonderful things of life because we work our butts off. Shouldn't we do that? And the guy I asked that to, he said, oh, no. Secession's awful. And I'm like, is it worse than Civil War? I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about it. I'm processing this. The legacy media says Op4 doesn't report the news. They manufacture the news. Amen. So go to alternate media places. That's all we do. I never, ever watch mainstream media. There's nothing to see there. There's no truth, including Fox. Fox is gone, except for Tucker and Sean Hannity. For now, they're able to say what they want to say. But you watch. What I've always said too is that the first and the second are like this together. They're not just going to go after the Second Amendment. They want to, and they have, but they want to really shut down that First Amendment. The ability for us to speak the way we're speaking now, they're going to attack it. And they have been attacking it all through the whole time I've been doing TNP, but now people are getting clown booted, shut down, censored. How many Twitter feeds were shut down? Trump's was. He got banned for 12 hours today.
Sidney Powell and Wood.
Shut down. You can't say that. We're the arbiters of truth.
They actually shut down Trump's message when he told people go home, be peaceful.
Right.
Why would they take that off?
Yeah, it's under attack. The First Amendment's, here's another prediction. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Like this stream right here, under Biden, will be illegal. To talk about the things I've talked about, it could be punished by prison time. That's a prediction. Don't doubt me on that. Don't doubt me. And the left, people celebrate it. It'll be just like the Nazis. This is what happened when the Nazis came out. Everyone was like, they're seal clapping, like, yay! Yay! Nazism is here. Yay! We're a proud German people. That's what we got now. We got seal claps going on, and people welcome this. They did it until, and there were Germans, of course, that were based, and they go, this Hitler guy is kind of an idiot. He's going to destroy us. And they bailed. There's some Germans that left the country, but there's some that rode it all the way out. But most Germans, not until 1945, saw the truth. And then when they saw the Allies just crushing them, the Soviets coming in from the east, the Germans or the Americans from the southwest, they're like, oh, wow, this guy kind of lied to us. It's not turning out the way he said it would. You're going to see that same thing happen here. A lot of lies, a lot of promises. People be seal clapping. Yay! Yeah, let's shut down those mean people. Let's shut down hate speech. And then the tentacles of this organism are going to start morphing and going into all people's lives, including their prior supporters. Watch that. I said that in UDR, Upside Down Right. I said, if you think you're going to sit at the power table and partake of this power, no. What they'll do is consolidate it. They're going to shut you down too. They're going to punish you too. Man, I'm on one today. I didn't feel like doing a stream, but I'm on it now. Beard Squatch, nice name. Just moved home to Oregon after getting out of defense contracting, U.S. Air Force. We're about 40 minutes outside of Portland. We got our 4A and 3A systems and kit ready to go, hoping calmer heads prevail. Okay, good for you. You're set. As all team peers, I would hope at this point would be set. My recommendation, guys, is if you can live out away from population centers, do it. Remember I said that. Get away, get out, because they're going to get spicy. They're going to get bloody in the future, and it's not going to be good. Get out. If you can move out like Beard did, get out, because you're going to be around better people. We talked about this last stream. I mean, if you go out to anywhere in America, in rural countries, out away from the big population centers, American flag, Trump flag, American flag, Trump flag, Trump flag. Our boy, last suspect, just came from Oregon. He's like, dude, there's Trump flags everywhere. after the election. You're going to be around those people, and they have your back. These are good people. They're honorable people. They'll watch your back. You guys can barter with each other. You can stave off violence in your community. You can have those micro communities come together, like I talked about. Fox News is now owned by Disney. I didn't know that. It doesn't surprise me. Fox News is garbage. So the word globalist, I mean, that used to be like an Alex Jones thing. He's like, oh, globalist, and I have to say, I kind of avoided it. Not that I didn't believe in the tenet of globalism, but after 2020, I'm on board. She's on board. She's being really quiet now. You ought to hear Mrs. Nut and Fancy when she gets on a rant. Start ranting.
No.
Go, rant, 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 rant.
I'm not good at it.
Rant. Oh, dude, she is a based, flaming conservative. I love her. Locust Chaos says communism is the dream of the elites to sell to everyone else to keep their power. Oh, notice like when everyone's suffering under socialism and communism, what happens to those elites? Oh, they got their great cars. They got whatever food they want. They've got as much gas as they want. Look at the USSR. Yeah, the Politburo, man. They had everything. Meanwhile, people are rationing bones. Hey, can I get like a couple bones to make some soup? No, you can't. We're out. Come back next week. Hey, can I get like a block of cheese? No, unless your government factory says you need it to work better for the people. That's another thing. Look for that term, for the people. Wow. All right, YouTube has purged so many conservative channels. Okay, dudes, here's what I want you to do, and you're going to be the first to hear this. Right now, I want to go to YouTube, ran by a patriot, Sam Robinson. So go now and make an account in YouTube if you have not done so already. I have videos posted over there, and what I'm going to do is put some videos to try to migrate the audience over to YouTube. If I did that, when I post that video and I looked within a week and I had 400,000 of my subs come over to YouTube, I'm like, okay, I'm staying in YouTube. But guess what? I know that's not going to happen. People are lazy. They won't even go over to my B channel. I've been trying to get them to go to my B channel forever. I got like 100,000 subs, so it's like 1/9. It's the same feed, the same channel. All you gotta do is hit subscribe. People don't do so. My point in telling you this is, number one, I am planning to bail from YouTube someday. Part B of that is where people keep watching. So don't believe everything, because you'll hear like a bunch of conservative commentators, F YouTube, I hate YouTube. They're saying this while they post a video on YouTube, because that's where you guys are. And by the way, their technology is fantastic. Like right now, this studio, I'm like, click, live feed. I mean, granted, I'm an idiot when it comes to it, but it works. It works. I mean, there are so many things I don't have even on YouTube. I've looked at BitChute. I will never go to DLive. That thing is garbage. We tried to get a DLive video up on the road the other day. It wouldn't even play. We had like LTE. Like, YouTube works. And that's why I think a lot of people just stay in YouTube, because it just works, whether you're a creator or whether you're a viewer. So it's really easy to say, well, I'm going to leave YouTube. Where are you going to go? I mean, I still want to go to YouTube, but it has a lot of issues for me as a creator. It doesn't do this, doesn't do that. They need to spend a lot more money in the interface. It ain't perfect. And that's just plan A. Listen, if we're like birds in a flock and I go, hey guys, we're going here. And like every TNP in my subscription goes, okay, within 24 hours, everyone's like, okay, we're on that platform. Dude, I would have left YouTube. It doesn't work that way. People, they're busy with their lives. They're working. Maybe they only check in once a week. Maybe they mean to do it. They don't do it. And some just go, I don't want another account anywhere else. So when people bitch about YouTube, honestly, it's a bunch of crap, because they're not going anywhere else. Look at my gun reviews. Like, people, I hate YouTube. And then what do they do? Go to the Nut and Fancy YouTube gun review. Okay, then Donald corrects, Fox News is not owned by Disney. Disney merged with Fox Entertainment since it has its own news. Okay, cool. How tall is the box Mrs. Nutton is standing on? Here, get off it and show it to him. Here you go. You asked. Here it comes. We're going to do a little making of the sausage here. This is what she is literally standing on right now. They're RV leveling caps. Can you freaking believe that? It's so funny. All right.
I'm 5 feet tall.
Thank you so much for being here. We love you guys. I love the Patreon community. Everyone here is so cool. I spend pretty much all my creative talents with the Patreon community, and then general YouTube. And I've been very honest about this, gets the leftovers. Like, here you go. And what do I say? You see me bragging about you guys all the time. Am I trying to generate more Patreon people? Absolutely. That's because I need them. Because someone bails, I need to replace them. You bet. I'm going to constantly dredge for more Patreon and donor support. I need it. But I say, hey, you can thank Patreon donors for this video. Gun review, knife review, clothing review. I'll continue to do so. YouTube. It's actually U. There's no Y in it. There's UGE Tube. It's Utah Gun Exchange video service, and it's by a very based and awesome guy, Sam Robinson. He actually owns Utah Gun Exchange, and he and I talk all the time. He's a car guy, and everything I know about Sam, he is solid. And unlike every other platform, to include BitChute, which is in England, DLive, which is owned by the Chinese, this is owned in Utah. Now, will it get attacked? Will it attack? Probably. If it gets big enough, you're going to have a DDoS attack on it for sure. But this is where we are right now. Is it nuttin' fancy? Yeah, I think it is nuttin' and then fancy, because I don't know if it allowed me to do like nuttin' fancy. You'll see it. I'm in BitChute, and you'll see some of the, actually some pretty recent videos. I have part 1 of UDR posted over there. Parlor, I don't know. No, I'm gonna do YouTube, because that's the thing where I'm going. Because there's, dude, they're like constitutional. That guy that owns that website is the guy you see at the rallies with the armored car. He showed up with the rallies, like, yeah, the Second Amendment, yeah, it's awesome. Don't encroach upon our Second Amendment. That's the owner of YouTube. You ain't gonna see BitChute doing that. You ain't gonna see Parler doing that. And also, they can do all what's that chick that left Fox News and went to NBC?
Oh, I was reading a comment.
The chick, the
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. They can go all Megyn Kelly on you. What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean by that. So Megyn Kelly in the day was one of the most popular Fox conservative commentators. She had her own show. She got huge numbers. And so this isn't false flag stuff. This isn't like, oh, tinfoil hat stuff. This actually happened. NBC was super smart. And I think it was NBC. They go, let's hire Megyn Kelly out from Fox. Money talks. Money talks. Millions, multi-million-dollar contract. And she bit. And why they did it at the perfect timing, because at the time, Megyn Kelly was criticizing Trump. And so so NBC was like, oh, here we go. We got an open-minded conservative. Great, come on aboard. And what did they do with her? They gave her a morning show. Or maybe, did she have a political commentary show? I don't know. But it was her morning show. She was roasted. And then she talked about dressing in blackface for Halloween. Canceled. They were waiting for that moment. They're like, we're going to fire her sooner or later. Oh, there it is. Fire her. They fired her. And now she's done. My point in bringing this story up is I think you can see this with the other websites, that they can lure away a bunch of conservatives, and then here comes another YouTube hammer. It's like, hey, you guys are shut down. And now what do you do? All subject to change, bros. All subject to change. Is that Doodles box? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it was when he was here. He stood.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't
He's
know
short
if he
too.
had as many things. He's 5'9". I'm 5 feet.
DC police chief just announced 4 total deaths during the event today, Atomic Ray.
Really?
Again, why aren't the conservatives torching the police department? I'm not advocating anything, but it seems like anytime a leftist is murdered by the police, all hell breaks loose, and then the media backs them up on, like, well, yeah, they're not social distancing, they don't have masks, they're firebombing that car dealership in Kenosha, but it's all justified. They shouldn't have shot that person. Do you see that happening now? Again, asymmetric coverage, asymmetric law enforcement. If you're a conservative, there's open season on you, dude. Todd S. Sam is awesome. Yeah, he is. Todd knows him personally. Oh, I gotta make sure I don't click the wrong thing. You know what happens if I click the wrong thing? We'll end up in the Milky Way.
Corey's asking, where do you want us to go to watch your vids? I am there. The conventional channels will be shut down soon.
Okay, I'm still, for the time being, I'm still doing what I'm doing. So you're going to post here on Patreon, which has still worked. I know it's not perfect. I'm not going to go into that. And YouTube. But what you're going to see in the weeks to come, maybe this month, maybe next month, is I'm going to post a video. I'm going to let it run a week. And I'm going to say, listen, please go to my YouTube account and subscribe. And I'm going to watch the numbers. And I already know what's going to happen. Very few people are going to do it. Oh, yeah. And then no one's going to do it. So what am I going to be forced to do as a creator? stay on YouTube. I might, post also in YouTube, but and one reason why is because so I don't get paid by so I'll loan knives from Blade HQ, I'll loan guns from Gunnies and Handgun Haven. They don't pay me, I don't pay them. But one benefit to them is if I do a review and I talk about them, it's free publicity for them. So it behooves me to have a larger audience for that, to pay back people who are loaning me the gear. Does that make sense? So if I bail to a little tiny platform where I'm getting 3,000 views and I start posting gun vids over there, where's the value in the people who loan me stuff? So there's more considerations than that. That's just one of them. Just made a huge YouTube account. C Cook. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Never knew about YouTube till 3 minutes ago. Okay, now you know. Yeah. And by the way, look at what Sam puts on the front page of YouTube. It's going to be awesome. Conservative people. There's one dude called Latter Day Conservative. I think that's his name. Great videos. Great videos. Join Parler. I hate seeing the communist comment on your Twitter. They're not part of TNP. Yeah, so true. So Parler's a replacement for Twitter. I'm going to look into that because I hate Twitter and I hate people commenting. I think I ought to turn comments off. Say right now, should I just turn my comments off on Twitter? Because I don't want those commie bastards commenting anything on or voting. Michael, I believe millions of patriots will rise up eventually once times get much worse. As you said, they won't be prepared, though. There it is in a nutshell. That's what's going to happen. We're not going to see a civil war in 2021. Ain't going to happen. 2027, things are ugly. And they won't be so prepared, but even if they pass gun laws and they say, no more guns, there's going to be millions upon millions of guns stashed away in this country for time and eternity. They'll be easily accessible. I don't care what the left does. Easy. If people don't have them, they'll go print one from a 3D printer, or they'll make them like the Viet Cong did in Vietnam War. There's lots of ways. A lethal slingshot that shoots arrows. There's a whole bunch. And with that, you can get a gun. Do you think, Homer says, do you think the future is going to be a sanctuary state for 1A or 2A? I would like to think free states would not comply with the coming Biden gun grab. They will. I hear what you're saying, but don't count on anything. Don't count on Texas. There's a ton of libs that have moved down to Texas, and they have turned that state. And they promised they would, and they have done it. But Beto works from there. They elected that jackass. He's a Texan. Austin is full on commie. Dallas is pretty much communist. All the big cities in Texas are pretty much commies. The rural areas are not. I would not count on any state being a 1A or 2A sanctuary. There's too many horrible Republicans out there. They're not ready to fight the battle. We'll see. I think that's wishful thinking, though. No one in particular real late with this comment, but Yuri Bezmenov talked about the useful idiot supporters that think they're not going to get a higher position. To get a higher position will be the first to be disposed of. Okay, cool. And as you know, I hope no one in particular, you watched my UDR series, because the whole foundation of that were the words of Yuri Bezmenov. I would like to have played his whole speech, but yeah, he did say that. He's like, you think the people who think they're going to be part of our power structure are going to be destroyed. Clark Kaposian is great. Yeah, he is. Utah shooting sports chairman. Yeah, he's awesome. Pull a salty cracker now halfway through the video. Tell them part 2 is on the new platform. Ooh, that's interesting. You see what he said here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll think about that. You're at 772 subs. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. AK made an account. Thank you. We need big numbers.
A lot of these people are saying they haven't heard of this till now.
True. Sign up for YouTube now. Like others, I didn't know about YouTube. Oh, you're going to hear me start talking about it more and more. And again, the tech and YouTube is so comfortable. I'm comfortable with it as a creator. You're comfortable. It's hard to move off of it, but we're going to start making some moves. We'll see. I need numbers, though. I need big dick energy. That's what Salty Cracker says all the time. Squealer, I doubt Kyle Rittenhouse would have panic shot or accidentally discharge a round in the neck of that wildly violent, immediately threatening lady at the Capitol. Yeah, no kidding. Good point. God. Whoever did that shot should be put up on murder charges. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
No weapon, no threat to the officer, and the guy cranks off around like Lon Horiuchi. at Ruby Ridge. How's that for a reference? So he shot Randy Weaver's wife right through the window, blew her face off, killed the infant, as I recollect. That was an FBI sniper, Lon Horiuchi. And now we got another Lon Horiuchi.
This girl today, her name was Ashley Babbitt.
There you go. Nice. Poor
Somebody
girl. I
asked a
feel
long
sorry
time
for her
ago.
family. I feel sorry for her. Here she was, an awesome Air Force veteran, taking time out of her busy schedule to go represent truth and freedom, and she ends up getting her neck blown off. Jeez. I'm not so sure with Utah Governor Spencer Cox. I hear you, Todd.
I don't either.
There's another coward, another traitor. Spencer Cox was talking a big game. Oh, I'm going to do this. I support Trump. Then last month, he's like, whoa, 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 this election was legitimate. We're not going to protest it. And we have states should not sign on to this list. This is not fancy. Like, holy crap, we voted for this guy. All right. What if you put a Patreon video up on YouTube and posted it to Patreon asking specifically people to go, again, for people to go there and see how many Patreon people over there and sub. Yeah, I'm going to start doing it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not hopeful, but if I get, it ain't going to happen, but 400,000 subs, dude, if I get 400,000 people of my subs, that's less than half. We will own YouTube. We will own it. We will own that platform. The content will go there. And I think he's working on monetization for creators, which is good because that will attract more creators. Thank you, Nightforge. Just made a YouTube account. Awesome. Am I a quintuple owl now? Yeah, you are. We're in weird times. You guys know this. Thanks, dude. Brad made an account, subscribe. Thank you. Okay, a lot of people saying they're signing up there. So thank you so much. Let me see if there's some other things I want to talk about. Yeah, I was talking about how I thought it's very sad how cops are so ready to shoot a conservative. And after what I saw in 2020 with violent party actors on the left, pro-Tifa, you don't cap those guys? Yeah, I'm living in clown world. I'm living in clown world. That's why I call it the upside down right. Romney, that piece of crap, he needs to be recalled. Basically, they all do. They all do. So what you're going to see, we're going to wrap it up here pretty quick. What you're going to see is a certification of the election.
People ask, what now? What do we do? People have asked that, like, from the beginning.
Okay, what you do now is just keep living your lives. Just relax. Don't suit up in your body armor and your AR-15 and go sit on top of a water tower waiting for things to cook off. That's not going to happen. Just relax and enjoy what we can enjoy as long as we can enjoy it. Remember this. Think about life as being a balancing scale, okay? And this is what I was talking about suffering. So we have a balancing scale. Do I have like a board or something in here? Where's that board I had? There it is. So it's like a balancing scale. And so when things are going to tip so far towards the end, this stupid example I'm giving you, loss of freedoms, life is miserable, can't travel anywhere, can't get food. When it gets here and people don't have anything to lose, you're going to see some violence, is my prediction. We're about, let me see. We're right about here right now. There you go. Now, what we've been trying to do with the political process is straighten things up, right? We've been trying to do this. And what you've seen over the last few decades is it has not been tipped in the favor of freedom and the Constitution. No, we've been like this for decades. Maybe flat, always kind of left-leaning. But now it's more like this. And all this is subject to change. This is what I'm thinking now. So I know some guys are messaging me in Patreon. They're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Just relax. Live your life. What are you going to do, Mr. Nutface? You're going to wake up tomorrow, strap yourself in a French cut bikini, freaking get a damn AK, this AK,
yep.
And you're going to strap it.
That's what I'm going to do.
Get strapped or get clapped. And Mr. Nutface is going to say, hey, man, here I am. Let's go. Let's go. Is that what you're going to do? No. No.
I'm not.
We're going to keep doing what we do. What's your alternative? So when people go, now it's time, it's go time, it's go time. It's like, dude, please, please, please. Rein it in, study history. Because when it's go time, there's no going back. And I've never been an advocate for that. I'm always trying to pull guys back as long as possible. Here's what I've always said. I was like, when you know, hey, when do we know? When do we know? You'll know. you'll know. You'll know. And also keep in mind too, we have this is, I mean, even to talk like this is like, oh, you can get banned. You can't even talk about it. You can't even circumvent the
Mhm.
subject. That is how hard the attack on the First Amendment is happening. And they have embedded narcs from ABC agencies all over. I can guarantee you there were dozens, if not more, scattered throughout the crowd trying to get names, what you're about. And they're going to be dressed just like a Trump guy. And meanwhile, they're listening, they're recording, they're trying to bust you. So keep that. 800 subscribers. Oh man, we got some
Mhm.
momentum. Awesome. Now, if I get enough people over there, you'll see what I'm going to start making YouTube only content. The only thing I'll say is that you guys take priority. So I don't know if I'll do that because I think you guys who pay the bills of the Nut and Fantasy Project should get first crack at everything. Let me know what you think. I don't know. 801, they're like keeping tallies. That's so funny. Well, how is this possible? Because, oh, I guess I had some subs already, but I thought I had like 50 subs or something because there's only 218 people in our chat. Yeah. Metal Militia says Patreon first. That's kind of what I'm thinking because you guys get content and I like giving exclusive content. And I hope you feel like you're getting value for the money you pay, a couple bucks you pay per month. I work really hard. True.
Mhm.
Is it beyond like 40 hours a week?
Oh,
She's like 50 or 60. I'm always researching. And again, that's why I'm not in the community section in Patreon too often. It's like, because I'm just working. Among life, still have to carry a huge load in life. For instance, I did car stuff all day. I'm exhausted from car stuff, and I've got some weird health thing going on. Don't ask.
yeah.
I'm just going to keep loving my family, loving my community, loving my God. There you go, Beard. That's what I'm talking. Don't hasten today. We're not there yet. Like Nutton said, once we cross that line, we can't go back. Love on others. Man, that's a great point, Beard Squatch. Love others. And that's a message I want to say is that it's really easy for us to get callous to our fellow man and that we're pissed off. And we do. I carry a certain anger towards the left for sure, but I try to pitch that and I try to serve my fellow man. I keep a journal, and in my journal, I have an acronym, and it's NTID, and it stands for Nice Thing I Did. And a nice thing I did the other day as I'm in line, and a black woman, that's right, a black woman, I don't care about skin color. She's like carrying these 4 jugs, and she's like doing this and trying it, and I had a cart right there. I said, hey, hun. I called her hun. So I said, hun, just put him in my cart. She turned around and looked at me. She's like, look at this. Look at this honky, man. She didn't say that. She was super cool. Yeah, do a nice thing. And then Sean Stewart and I were on a motorcycle trip. Here we had, and I'm not saying this gratuitously, it's just how it happened. We met a super cool, and I think I took video of her, but just a little bit, super cool black mother, single mom. She had a beat up car. She's traveling with a darling little girl, and you could tell she just didn't have a lot of money. And I told Sean, I was like, and I still have some of that impressive human money. And I just went over there and gave her some money. I was like, hey, here's 100. And she's like crying. And just do nice things to people, for people, love people, try to be a good Christian and love your family. Life is still good. Think about it. Step back. We still have internet service. That's another good indicator. When the internet goes out, ooh, that's a good indicator that things are not going good. If your electricity goes out, indicator. Sewer service, water goes out, indicator. As long as you have those things, relax. Enjoy life while you can enjoy it. Kyle said, I had to pick up a Zasava M70 and M92 from your reviews. Love them. God bless America. Nice, Kyle. Great guns, both of those. Oh, M92, you can't go wrong with that. M70 is so well made. Golly, that's awesome. It's bad for me to think we should still have hope and fight the right way. Someone's saying subscribe 814. You kept keep tally. Hey, 815. Hey, 820. Cool. I like that. That's interesting. Oh, they're having an inside conversation. So we're gonna let you get back to those really based, awesome live streams. My overall message is even, let's say, even if things just went all to hell, there still is a God, and God loves you. He knows who you are. He loves your family. He knows your faults, and he still loves you despite them all. He will take care of you. He will listen to your prayers. He will bless your family. And I pray for you guys too. In my own prayers, I say, please bless my TNPers, that they have the needs, their needs met. I do pray you get lots of money too. I do. Good health. I know several of you guys are struggling with major health issues, and I pray for you. And I invoke the power of my God in our lives, and what you see with us standing here and being able to have this beautiful project and have you part of our lives is a blessing. We never say otherwise. And remember that God is in charge. So even if it goes all south and gets all wonky and crazy, there still is a God. This life is short, and you'll meet your God and live in happiness forever. I honestly don't fear death that much, to be honest with you. I've said that, but I don't want to be fatalistic. I just don't care. The only reason I want to stick around is take care of her. Have I said that before? Just so you know, I'm not making that up. How do we post pictures on Patreon? I ran into a TMPer and he was wanting a Tokarev, so I traded mine for a signed Nut and Fancy Canik TP9. What? Dude, you got rid of that signed Canik TP9? Oh, man. Tokarevs are awesome. I don't know. Community tab. You can post pictures in the community tab because guys are posting pictures all the time. They'll show their gear, their watches are nice. And by the way, the watch community in Patreon has grown. Thank you, thank you. And I'm going to do giveaways to those guys. And Mrs. Nut Fancy goes through the comments and she goes, that guy's getting a watch. So if you're not a watch fan, you might want to start watching. Of course, if you win a watch and you're not a watch fan, what have you gained? Nothing. Just keep wearing your Timex. Definitely share the AK love. Picked up a new PSAC AK-103 based on your previous review of a PSA AK pattern rifles. Dude, this is a Gen 3 right up here, Nutmeg. I'm thinking about doing its own review right here just because I love it. Just go out and dick around. I won't say anything new, but I think guys will love watching it. Look at that sick thing. It was up here on last stream as well. I mean, they're heavier. Go watch my AK versus AR-15. It's all the stuff I talked about, right? But dang, I like AKs. They're just in a 7.62 39 format. Here I go again. Another rant. Thanks, I need it. Okay, God bless. Yeah, God's in charge, not the leftist, not the communist. God's in charge. He'll bless your family. Be humble. Be good to people. Be as good as you can to people. But be watchful. Be heavily armed. And defend the Constitution. You may be called upon, even by me, to defend the Constitution. I'm just saying. So be ready. And by the way, stay in shape. We're going to sign off right now. You're hurting right now, aren't you? She has to step down. Okay, like I said, it's a short stream. We're not going to do like a multi-hour stream.
That's probably longer than you thought.
It was. I was going to do like 45 minutes. We're an hour 13 right now. Thank you so much, and be happy. Be happy. Go out, enjoy life, do hikes, go drive your cars, drive your motorcycles. We still live in a free country. Don't let all this get you down. I know it's very hard not to, but look at the good. Look at the good. Look at all your blessings you have. We are all so blessed right now. Will we be as blessed in the future? We'll find out. All right, signing off. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.